My name is Myron Robert Polster. December 13th, 1963, Cleveland, Ohio. I went to Michigan State University for my undergraduate degree and Miami University for my master's degree. My mother's family is from Eastern Europe, and her father is from Russia. Father's side is from Czechoslovakia, and his mother's side is from Poland. Probably mostly around the 20s and 30s. A few relatives may have come a little later. I know there was one uncle who was killed in the Holocaust and another who survived the Holocaust, so they were obviously still in Europe in the 40s. My family is Jewish. From, I don't know, very young age, I would go to the temple usually once on the weekend and once during the week. During the week was mostly for Hebrew school, and then during the week, on the weekend was more like a combination of going for Hebrew school and other kinds of religious classes and a service. I have two older siblings, a sister and a brother, who are about 6 and 7 years older than I am. The best way to describe it's like a coming of age event. So you have to learn all the Jewish prayers. You have to read from the Torah without vowels, which makes it a lot more difficult. Kind of run the service. I did. Most kids actually quit going to religious school the day they had their bar mitzvah. I was not so fortunate, so I had to go all the way through 9th grade, through confirmation. I think it was probably, I don't know if it changed a lot when I went to college. I think the thing was just more exposure to other schools of thought and what other kids thought. I know I went with one of my friends. We went to church some. We'd go to different churches to kind of hear, and I mean, it was just really interesting. I said, to hear different people's views and get a perspective of why people believe what they believe. I think earlier in my life it would have mattered more, but I wasn't going to stop her from her Christian beliefs, and I didn't think she would change my Jewish beliefs. And sometimes it's interesting to hear the sermons and kind of hear what they say, especially if it's not necessarily directly related to God and it's more about how people live their lives. But when it's really focused on, you know, putting your faith in Jesus Christ and things that I just did not grow up with, doesn't really interest me. So it's not, I don't fault anyone else for believing that, but it's just not what I believe. I said I don't share the religious aspect of it with you, or I can't quite share it, but I mean, I feel like I try to support your beliefs in it and make it so you're not uncomfortable that I don't believe it. So I hope I do a okay job of that. I do. As I said, it's hard because I don't have a strong religious affiliation, so there are times where it's actually can feel a little disconnecting when you know there are significant holidays that you don't celebrate to the same extent. I know that group, though, that we had that played basketball and baseball and things, you know, there is a tight bond in the Jewish community, and we had 4 or 5 people within our league who lost children or spouses within a couple of years. And I mean, it was amazing that 80 or 90% of the people who were in those, you know, affiliations or on those teams or competitors in those leagues came out to those funerals. I mean, I don't think even at work or something, I don't see quite that level of bond usually. So we were all pretty close. I do. I like the fact that you're interested and trying to kind of understand where I come from and what I believe, and I think it's opened your mind up to looking at not just Jewish people, but people of other faiths and other places. And I think you're real interested in what people from other parts of the world are doing, and kind of fuels your interest in travel and languages. And so I think that's all good for your just being a better person, better citizen, and just makes you more well-rounded.
Toda Abba.
Bavakasha.